Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wild and Unbelievable News, where we cover some of the craziest news stories from around the world. And I'm your host, Toon Dallas. Up at number 6, the source is HuffPost.com. Man arrested for possessing pot lights up joint in courtroom. Yo, he was arrested for possessing pot. However, he still lit it up when he went to court. Listen to this. The suspect approached the bench to discuss his sentence, but instead expressed his views on legalizing Mary Jane before lighting up a Mary Jane cigarette and smoking it in front of the judge. Lebanon 10, I believe that's Lebanon, Tennessee. The rapper Afroman famously sang about how getting high on Mary Jane prevented him from going to court. A Tennessee man decided to combine the two when he lit a Mary Jane cigarette in the courtroom. Authorities said, yo, his mugshot, his face. Yo, look at his face. His face is priceless. Like, this was planned. I swear this was planned. Like, you can't make this story up. It said, Spencer Allen Boston, 20, he's 20 years old, was arrested Monday and charged with disorderly conduct and simple possession after sparking up in the courtroom, news outlets reported. Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan said Boston was in court Monday on a simple drug possession charge. Boston approached the bench to discuss his sentence, but instead he expressed his views on legalizing Mary Jane. Boston reached in his pocket, pulled out a Mary Jane cigarette, lit it, smoked it, and was immediately taken into custody. Yo, what was he thinking? Did he think that was gonna go like according to plan? Like, what he thought the judge gonna be, oh, okay, sir. I understand your views. You are now dismissed. Case thrown away. No, he just added more charges on top of charges on top of charges. Yo, they said Sheriff Office Lieutenant Scott Moore said the courtroom crowd chuckled. Imagine being in court. You in court, you waiting for your turn, and the dude that goes up lights up a doobie and blows it all in the courtroom. Now the whole courtroom has that stench. Oh man. It's unclear whether Boston lit up a joint or a blunt. But Bryan said, how is it unclear? One's white, one's brown. But Bryan said the defendant, Mary Jane, did have a strong odor. Wow. Yo, his face is priceless. Like, he just screwed himself up because like that just added more time onto what he probably wasn't even gonna get much. Like, it was a simple charge, and nowadays it would have probably given him a fine. It would have probably made him do community service and all that. However, he went and he violated the courtroom. Yo, could you imagine? That's funny. I'm sorry, guys. Excuse my sense of humor, but his face makes it even funnier. Like, he dead serious. Like, he went in there like Jesus Cristo, like Jesus Christ with the long hair, with the beard. And he just lit one up. Oh, man. Up at number 5, the source is UPI.com. Man comes down from pole after 78 days in a barrel. 78 days my man spent in a barrel. Listen to this. A South African man who broke his own Guinness World Record for staying in a barrel atop a pole finally returned to solid ground after 78 days. My man spent 78 days on top of a pole in a barrel. Vernon Kruger. Yo, wonder if he related to my Uncle Freddy Krueger. Vernon Kruger descended from the 82-foot pole in Dolstrom after spending 78 days, 23 hours, and 14 minutes in the 132-gallon barrel atop of the pole. He was airlifted from his perch via helicopter. That's crazy. This dude, listen to this. Kruger first set a Guinness World Record for the feat in 1997 when he spent 67 days in a barrel affixed atop of a pole. And this time around, he stayed in the barrel for an extra 11 days after breaking his own record. The man said he slaved for the extra time to make the record more difficult for the next person to break. He said he does not intend to attempt to break his own record again. This guy's crazy. Like, first thing that comes to my mind is, how did he use the bathroom? Like, imagine if you had to do a number 1 and then a number 2. He had to take a couple dozen number 2s for 78 days up there. He ain't afraid of heights. obviously, like, he ain't afraid of heights. He's in the middle. It looks like from the imagery, it looks like he's in the middle of the forest or in the middle of the suburbs, the middle of nowhere, kind of eating. Like, how? Like, what type of food did he eat? Did he have 78 days worth of food already up there, or did people like bring him food? Or I mean, this dude did he like have food like pulled up from like a rope? Like, all right, guys, thanks for this week. Because imagine you got your food in the same place where you're sleeping, staying, if he got any sleep, and then he's defecating and urinating and doing all of that in the same space. He definitely didn't take a shower for 78 days. The only time he probably took a shower was when it rained. Imagine when it rained. Imagine like 3, 4 a.m. you sleeping, you up top, and then starts pouring. Did they give him an umbrella? Like, I don't think nobody gonna go for that world record. Like, he's still for an extra 11 days. I ain't going for that world record. You going for that world record? He got that. My man got that. And I don't know how many other people gonna plan on beating that. But that goes to show you could end up in the Guinness World Records for just about anything nowadays. Up at number 4, the source is ID.com. Man burns $1 million to avoid paying it to his wife and child. He started with 30 days in jail after confessing to the judge that he burned 1 million Canadian dollars in cash so that he didn't have to pay child support or spousal support due to a divorce settlement. What? Like, what? Like, let's continue reading. Bruce McConville, 55 years old, said in Ottawa Superior Court last week that the withdrew about $750,000 in American dollars in 25 separate withdrawals from 6 different accounts. He said that he burned $743,000 on September 23rd and $296,000 on December 15th in 2 separate bonfires. Like, dude, don't you think it would have been cheaper doing like a simple divorce? Don't a divorce cost like $500, like $600? I mean, and if that's all he had, if that was his last shillings, if that was his last money, you just burnt your last money? Like, what? Like, wouldn't it have been easier just to, out of the million, cut her a small, lump sum and then take care of your kid? I mean, it's only right for you to take care of your kid. Now, if you got beef with the wife, then all right, that's one thing. But you got to take care of your kid, you know what I mean? He claims that he has receipts to prove the amount of money that he took out of the account. He does not have proof of the bonfires, though, or any witnesses. Look at his face. Yo, why he look like a mad scientist? Yo, his hair is porcelain white. It's incredibly, like, paper white. Wow, check him out. Like, he got the glasses and all that. I'll tell you one thing. My man was saving. He said they withdrew from 6 accounts, and it totaled up to about $1 million, a little over $1 million, right? 743,296. No, it was $1 million. Wow. He said, "Can I back you up a bit? When you say you destroyed, what do you mean?" Superior Court Justice Kelvin Phillips asked, to which McConville replied, "I burnt it." He burnt the money, y'all. Like, and the craziest thing is that there's no proof. So low key, my man could have like made some smart investments out there and maybe siphoned it off on other accounts or something. You know what I mean? He don't even have proof. Like, for all we know, like, that money's buried. It's a hidden treasure. And like, he's just like, look it. He counting the days in court, or he counting the days in jail. When he locked up, he like, all right, I got 30 more days. Ching! He gonna swipe them off, because at the end he planning on getting the money. But this is where the story has a small plot twist. The judge said, "I don't believe you. I don't trust you. I don't think you're honest." The judge told him, "I find what you have done to be morally reprehensible, because what you claim to have done willingly and directly undermines the interests of your children." Some of the money earned was from a sale of properties and businesses to his accountant, which is a direct violation of the court order to not sell his assets. Up at number 3, sources dailymail.co.uk. Italian woman, 25, grows eyelash-like hairs out of her gums, as baffled doctors believe it was fueled by her polycystic ovary syndrome. Yo, she's growing hair, like eyelashes, little blink blinks, the little teeny sharp little pointy hairs, out of her gums, y'all. Listen to this. The rare phenomenon has only affected 5 other people in the world. So she's 1 out of 5 people in the world that can say hair grows from their gums. The unidentified woman sought help 10 years ago and was diagnosed with PCOS. Hormonal treatment stopped the eyelash growth for 6 years. When she came off the medication, the hairy mouth worsened. Yo, her mouth got hair. Yo, that's not funny. That's not really funny. It's kind of messed up. Doctors are still clueless to the exact cause, but say PCOS plays a part. Even after doctors looked at samples of her gum tissue under the microscope, they were left clueless. The cells that line the inside of the mouth and the skin cells on the body which sprout hair are different, but may cross over, the team suggests. That's crazy. That's unbelievable. Did you know hair can grow out of gums? I didn't know that. Up at number 2, source is newsky.com. Man whose headaches made him vomit had tapeworm in brain for 10 years. What? This is ridiculous. Doctors think the tapeworm had been growing slowly ever since the man contracted it from eating undercooked pork in Mexico. SMH, shaking my head. A man whose headaches were so painful they made him vomit has finally found the source of his health problem. A tapeworm had been lodged in his brain for 10 years. Dude, 10 years? You allowed this to go on for 10 years? Like, I mean, I could have like a year or 2 years, 3 years, maybe even like 4 or 5. He was living with this tapeworm in his brain for 10 years. First off, how does a tapeworm get to your brain? Isn't your brain inside your skull? Isn't your skull supposed to be protected? Doctors in Texas think the tapeworm had been growing slowly ever since the man, named only as Gerardo or Geraldo, contracted it from eating undercooked pork in Mexico more than a decade ago. Gerardo said he had been having headaches and feeling off for months before he had an MRI scan after fainting while playing football last year. Describing the pain of his headache, yo, poor Gerardo, yo, look at this dude, look at him, man, yo, he was living with that. Like, that goes to show you guys, make sure whatever you're eating is thoroughly cooked. You want to make sure your food products are cooked at cooking degree temperature, whatever it's supposed to be cooked at. Make sure your food is thoroughly cooked, because you don't want to have tapeworms. And then when you look at the picture of the tapeworm, look at the tapeworm. The tapeworm looks like a pussy gelatin like something. That don't even look like a worm. I thought tapeworm's supposed to be long and look flat like tape. That looks. And then he had it in his brain, like in his head. Like, how did they take it out? Did he have to go through like surgery? That is a mind-blowing news article there, because that makes you think twice about the food that you consume. At least it makes me think twice. Good thing I eat vegetables. Up at number 1, TechRadar.com reports Uber and Hyundai are planning to offer flying taxi rides by 2023. Yo, 2023, we in 2020, so you telling me in 3 years they're gonna be flying Ubers? No way. I gotta see it to believe it. Listen to this. Dodge the traffic and hop across the city at 180 miles per hour. Ain't no way you putting me up in that air on this brand new flying technological device at 180 miles per hour. That's faster than a car. Like, what, we on the Autobahn, like in the sky? At CES 2020, Uber and Honda showed off a full-size mock-up of a flying taxi that both companies hope will be ferrying you above congested city streets by 2023. Keyword hope. You understand that? The electric plane called the Uber Day. Yo, get it? Uber and Hyundai are teaming together, so Uber Day. The electric plane called Uber Day will carry a pilot and 3 passengers up to 60 miles at speeds of up to 180 miles per hour, slashing journey times and helping get cars off the road. Eventually, the craft will be automated, but for now, the two companies are focused on a manned craft. So eventually, they want this flying device to fly by itself. I will definitely not get in that one. But they're going to start them off with people flying them. So would you need to get like a pilot's license? Would you need to get like some special type of like land to flying license? Because like that's 2 different things, like all in itself. The flying taxi market is starting to get pretty lively. Last year, Boeing began test flights to test the safety of Boeing Next, an electric aircraft with passenger pods designed to travel up to 50 miles. And the Bell helicopter unveiled the Bell Nexus, which the company hopes will redefine air travel. First things first, guys. I'm a car enthusiast, and I know Hyundai hasn't been in the market for too long, and although they are providing a cost-efficient, economical, user-friendly entry-level vehicles, they're like Kia and a few others where they're not as reputable as the older car manufacturers in the business. Now, if they would have said like Honda and Uber would have been teaming together, Mercedes and Uber, or Lamborghini and Uber, or like something with like some age to it, Saab and Uber, like I can see that because Saab manufactured jets and all of that stuff. But you're talking about Hyundai? Like that's straight confusing for me as a car person. Like I don't know if I would even trust that. Like, and at that, are they gonna be affordable because it's Hyundai? It better not be pricey. You know what I mean? Hyundais are more cheap and cost efficient. The difference with Hyundai's plane is its partnership with Uber, which is a name synonymous with ride sharing throughout much of the world and already has the infrastructure in place to offer flights as an option alongside trips by car, bike, scooter, helicopter, and even submarine. Well, that is true. A lot of the time when you see people do Uber, they're using Hyundais, and that's because like nowadays you can go to the Hyundai dealer and tell them, look, you want to sign up for Uber. Nowadays you can pretty much go to any dealer and tell them you want to sign up for Uber, and there's a lot of cost-efficient, cheap cars that they'll allow you to go off the dealership with, drive with okay credit, and you just pay your monthly finance, note. But Hyundai and them already partnered, so they already figure, hey, what you waiting for? Ready for a liftoff? Uber has been aiming for the skies for several years now, teaming up with various aerospace companies to build a fleet of mini aircraft. At the Uber Elevate Summit in June 2019, it revealed a concept created in collaboration with Jaunt Air Mobility, a business that's aiming to create a fully autonomous aircraft by the end of 2029. So by the end of 2029, they're trying to have something fly by itself. Wow, that's at least that's in my lifetime. It's called the Compound Aircraft, and what it's doing is really trying to get the best of both worlds of hover and high-speed efficient flight. Uber's head of engineering, Mark Morris, said at the event, Uber intends to launch its first swarm of flying cars in the US and Australia in 2023, with schemes planned, I don't like that word, schemes, with schemes planned for Dallas, Las Vegas, and Melbourne. We'll keep you updated as we learn more over the coming months. What do you guys think about that? Would you get it in a flying aircraft? Like I think flying is decent, but I think it has to be done correctly, for the sake of mankind, because could you imagine hundreds, if not thousands of flying devices now clogging up the airways and probably potentially getting to accidents up there? Accidents up there are not going to be like accidents down here on the ground. Accidents down here on the ground, we're stuck to the ground. So it's boom. That's it. You're just stuck. Get out the car and insurance and all that stuff. Accidents up there, it's like, boom, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to claim insurance because there's no materials left over. Like that's trippy. Like that's something to think about. Would I want to own my own personal flying aircraft? Yeah, why not? But I would like to man it, and I would experiment like on low altitudes, like I don't know, maybe in the fields, like don't we all want to fly? Flying is decent. Like I wouldn't mind owning a flying craft. But yeah, I think it comes with a lot of pros and cons, and I'm going to allow the company to weigh them out, and I'll be looking forward to what the future holds, and we're going to experience it together, guys. Okay, guys, so that concludes today's episode of Wild and Unbelievable News. Make sure to comment the craziest news story you heard me talk about below. And as always, if you have a news story or if you hear about something before I do and you think I should cover it on a future episode, share the link in the comment section. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And until the next episode, be safe, guys.